I have a weird update about the upcoming Snow White live action remake from Disney. You know, the one where Rachel Zegler called the original cartoon version, creepy because the prince was acting like a stalker. So I just wanted to go into it because there are a couple of updates that might surprise you.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side.
Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Berry. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications whenever a new video is posted and consider becoming a channel member. All right, so like I said, I have sort of an update regarding Snow White, or at least the live action remake of the flagship animated feature film from Walt Disney Studios. So, diving right into it, this is from thatparkplace.com. Most movies go through film production in months, not years. Disney's Snow White live action remake is not one of those most movies. Instead, Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot's retelling of the German fairy tale has become a 2 year production fiasco, but Bob Iger and Disney feel it is the House of Mouse which might have the final laugh. To go through the entire story of how this film turned into a nightmare for Disney would be a very long read. Like Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, there has been plenty of incompetence, much bad luck, damaging leaks, and sassy stars who fail to understand the art of promotion. Still, even Indy 5 is dwarfed by how long actors have been in front of the cameras for Snow White. This film has been in production since 2022. Jordan Rumi at World of Real confirmed principal photography on Snow White began on March 7th, 2022, and wrapped in June 2022. So next year's release will have been almost 3 years after production has been completed. However, there was additional photography reshoots done on the film in June 2023. The goal was to insert flashbacks into Snow White featuring actress Emilia Foucher as a younger version of Snow White. He added, "Now it's being reported that another round of reshoots are currently occurring in London. This was confirmed by Gal Gadot, who stars in the film as the Evil Queen. Rachel Zegler, who plays Snow White, is also in London for the additional photography. Amidst these delays, the film only has one official released image, which can be seen above. And it's Gal Gadot's actor chair, the one they have on set that says Evil Queen on it. And yet, we are at a time when it seemed we finally reached the end. Rachel Zegler, the star of the show, has declared production finally over. Of course, she's called the Princess Stalker, derided the original film on which the entire Disney built foundation is built, and embraced a socialist liberator narrative that was part of the first script. More on that later, but perhaps we shouldn't be surprised if Zegler's prediction isn't fully accurate. She's struggled in that department before. Now, however, a trusted source has reached out to that Park Place with new information which we are allowed to print so long as we protect their identity. It should be noted that we have used this source before to great success and that we implore readers to still recognize this is definitely a rumor. So you are entering the rumor zone. We'll be discussing a future product which has not yet been released. Things can definitely change before opening day. According to our source, Snow White has gone through 3 sets of reshoots as a result of the backlash: a terrible original script, poor reception by focus groups, and grave concern by a number of Disney executives and licensing partners over just how badly this film might perform. According to the reshoots, according to the source, these reshoots have attempted the following: clean up the original vision to exclude dwarves from the final product, except for one live actor. Reshoots allegedly occurred at this point to allow for new CGI dwarves to be inserted into a large amount of the movie. We are informed that this was not inexpensive and may have had added an additional 30 million or more to the cost. Another set of reshoots was then ordered as a result of extremely poor reception by focus groups who detested the character of Snow White as portrayed in the movie. Again, this is a rumor, but we're told efforts were to bring in the younger version of Snow White, played by a different actress, to try to soften the character. This may have been included a small new musical number added to give her even more screen time. Finally, a third set of reshoots just wrapped. And according to our source, these are a result of a movie that was still seen as incoherent and disjointed. The attempt was made to more closely align the film to the original animated feature film while still allowing the Zegler version to have a pro-feminist message, albeit one that is softer and less militant. Our source informs us that one of the driving factors for the third set of reshoots was to reassure Mattel that this would not be a damaging enterprise for the toy maker in supporting Snow White. Reshoots largely occurred before the box office result of Inside Out 2, so Disney was not in a good place for leverage or for providing confidence to partners in their box office post-pandemic abilities. Inside Out 2 may have calmed nerves, but focus groups, having seen this latest iteration of Snow White, also have given top executives at Disney reason to hope they're turned a corner. Additionally, they have sunk nearly $400 million in production of the film, not including marketing. But many believe that they might just get a win with another Barbie style box office sensation. The idea is by going soft woke, they can drive mothers and daughters to the box office, but simultaneously stay away from hyper controversies that destroy Lightyear, Strange World, and more. All right, so I remember sometime in 2023, there was this rumor going around that Rachel Zegler had been cut from the film entirely, that they brought in a whole new actress to portray Snow White. And I said at the time, I didn't believe that rumor. There's no way you're going to put your actor into a contract unless you had an original one in mind. That one couldn't do it, but then they became free. That's what happened with Back to the Future. Michael J. Fox wasn't the original actor to play Marty McFly, but he was the original choice. So they filmed basically the whole movie with the original actor, but then Michael J. Fox, he became available and they did extensive reshoots with him, which in my opinion made the movie better. No offense to the previous actor, but Michael J. Fox was the correct person to play Marty McFly. In this case, Rachel Zegler was not the right choice to play Snow White. She's rude, she's obstinate, she's very weird in her description of the old film. First, she said she watched it as a child and didn't like the original film. It made her scared, it made her frightened. And what's interesting to me is watching the interview where she said that with Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot kept trying to offer pacifying answers about this, but none that really stuck. And also, why not do a movie where Gal Gadot is Snow White? That just makes way more sense. You know, she's not right to play the evil queen. That's it's mind blowing to me that that's how it goes. And it's so sad that Disney thinks that they have to course correct from their original vision, because one of the things about the people who led Disney up until Bob Iger was they understood that idea of telling timeless tales. Bob Iger's mandate is he wants to tell stories that are just for the here and now. He's chasing a modern audience that doesn't exist. And I know this because the woke wankers that he's trying to appeal to through Rachel Zegler's very odd behavior is poor. They don't have any money. They spend it all on soy. They spend it all on their keyboards that they keep having to break from their mom's basement. It doesn't matter to them about Disney. They've never seen the original films. They just want to go on Wikipedia or Tumblr or Wattpad and look up all the problems with them. And yes, Walt Disney made some missteps in some of their movies. We can all acknowledge that. We're all adults. But because we're all adults, we have to say it's time to move on. They happened. Let's just say they did, and move on with our lives. It doesn't need to be this big song and dance, this big pony show where you send the star of a remake of your flagship feature film to bash the film. It was dumb to begin with. It was stupid, and Disney should have known better that this would have gone awry. I don't know why they didn't think it wouldn't, but before Disney was kind of going, well, it's Disney, we can just slap our branding on there and now people will come. And that did happen initially with some of these films. We did see some initial interest in the audience, but everyone just got so bored. And then they flooded their own market with Disney Plus, where they brought in more stuff like Willow, which doesn't even exist on Disney Plus anymore. It got totally canceled. They canned it in favor of a tax write off. How humiliating is that? That you have to take away an entire television series and eliminate it. But what did they do? Val Kilmer wasn't healthy enough to play the same character he did from the original film, but instead of saying, oh, he, you know, went out heroically from the show, I mean, they had to malign him. They had to make it where he abandoned his family. And so now he's got a daughter that's a spoiled brat who is somehow better at everything than, experienced knights. It was the Ray Palpatine syndrome, right? She's just instantly better at everything, just like the Snow White was going to be. Personally, I don't believe that the remakes are any better. I have a feeling that this movie is going to look like a patchwork where they just tried to make everything work. But I think that ultimately It's not going to do well at the box office, maybe the first week, but I don't think it's going to make back anywhere near this ballooned budget, and they only have themselves to blame for it. If you liked that video, be sure to give it a like, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, and subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications whenever I release a new video, and consider becoming a channel member where you get all kinds of perks. But if you're like, I'm watching on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, and I don't want to support you on big tech, I don't blame you. Click on the link to my locals community. It's in the description. It's kind of like a Patreon or Subscribe Star where you can support indie creators like myself through tips or through monthly subscriptions. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on StudioJake.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any